Hello, this is Uncle from TacticalGamer.com from Tactical Gamer University. This is our basic infantry lesson on basic fireteam formations. Now, a lot of gamers like to think that formations don't really have much to do with playing tactically within a game environment. And however, we're going to go over three of the formations: the file formation, line formation, and the wedge formation, and hopefully change your mind. So first up is the file formation, where each man simply follows in the footsteps of the person in front of them. They can keep an eye on that person to make sure they're going the same direction, and then watch their sector of coverage. First man watches front, second man watches left, third man would watch right, fourth man would watch to his left, and every few steps turn around and check the six. Normally, your team leader will take point. His buddy will be the grenadier. The automatic rifleman would take number 3, and the rifleman, may be carrying extra ammunition, would be the buddy of the automatic rifleman. Now, it's possible the team leader may want to put the automatic rifleman up on their point, especially in urban areas. So in that case, the automatic rifleman and the rifleman would move to the front, and the team leader and the grenadier would move to the back. The advantage to that would be that you would have an automatic rifleman up on the front taking point, your most likely direction of enemy contact, and you have a grenadier watching your 6, so your force multipliers are in the front and the back on your weak flanks. And let's talk about that a bit further. But before we do, we need to understand what I mean by the weak flank. In this sense, it's not really the flank, but if we had an enemy in the front of a file formation, they could simply drop one person after another without the team being able to return effective fire. That gets very different, and the advantage of the file formation is seen when there is an enemy then on the flank. When you have an enemy on the flank, the enemy would need to acquire one target, fire, reacquire a second target, and fire. In this case, you could simply turn to your left and then have all 4 guns being able to return effective fire on your enemy position. When you do come online, you want to put an automatic rifleman on the flank of the most likely enemy contact, his assistant beside him, or the rifleman. Beside that, your team leader in the middle, and on your other flank you put your grenadier. That again, so if you take contact from the flank, you've got your automatic rifleman on one side, your grenadier on the other, who can simply turn and take almost 180 degrees from forward to the rear. So when you are online, you want to make sure that your rifleman or your assistant is doing the job of checking the 6 o'clock, because you want obviously the 2 that would be on the flanks to cover a larger sector of fire, and you want your leader to be able to have a good all-around situational awareness. Obviously, the advantage here is that you've got excellent coverage to the forward, the most likely direction of enemy contact when you use this formation, but it's very, very poor to the flanks. Same thing as the line formation. If you have a contact on your right flank, they're going to be able to drop the grenadier, and nobody else in the team is going to be able to fire back until the grenadier is dispatched. Now, the other thing about the line formation is very, very difficult to control when you're moving. When you're moving, you're looking at your sector of coverage, which is generally to the forward, but you have to then look to your 180 on both your left and your right to make sure that you're still in formation with the people beside you. Why is this all that important? Well, if you don't do that, what happens is if you get a contact on the left side, even just if it's 45 degrees left, then if you've got one man that's 3 or 4 steps in front of you on your left side, you are not effective to be able to fire forward, even if it's 45 degrees to your left side. So it becomes very of paramount importance to make sure that when you're moving in a line formation, that you keep the line formation as strict as possible. And then we get to mix the 2 up in what we call the wedge. You've got, in this sense, decent coverage to your flank, same thing to your front, but it's not excellent either way. Now there's a lot of different ways to balance the wedge. In this situation, we've got the automatic rifleman far right and grenadier far left. It's heavy left, so we are balancing out the two riflemen basically on the left side with the automatic rifleman on the right. So what you saw in that clip is basically the example. It's on the left side. It was mirror image. So the left side is heavy right with automatic rifleman left. You could also go, let's say, heavy left, put the automatic rifleman in the middle on the left side. This is when you expect contact more towards the front, and you're traveling, let's say. You've got your automatic rifleman, which is going to be our assistant auto rifleman, will be responsible for checking the 6, and you're balancing out the grenadier and automatic rifleman on either side. This does keep the buddy teams together better too, so there's a lot of different things to balance. Now let's talk about moving while in the wedge. When you're moving in a wedge, you can keep the man in front of you just in the top right or top left of your screen, and then simply turn your head if you're playing Arma, or just turn and watch your sector of coverage if it's left on when you're on the left side, or when it's right when you're on the right side. So in this way, it's pretty easy to maintain control and quick movement, and you have excellent coverage to both flanks, left and right. Well, here we are with a comparison chart of the three formations we went over with. So we started with the fire team file. Normal uses. It's excellent on control. You can very easily transition from the file formation to a line on either flank right or left, and pretty easily into a wedge. It's excellent for the coverage to the flanks, poor, very poor to the front or to the rear, and you can move very quickly. The line formation is the slowest moving of any of the formations. Its coverage to the front is excellent and pretty good there. To the rear, just need to turn around and you're on line again. The flank is very, very poor. Very difficult to control, slow moving. The wedge is a balance between the those two. The trade-off again though is if you've got, let's say, your heavy left, your last man on the left side cannot fire forward and to the right without firing through the team. So there's a balancing act of all these things. So I hope you enjoyed the fire team formation TGO video, and hope to see you in the basic infantry course and in game soon. Take care.